Hi, welcome to Wisdom by 30 on YouTube. This is the first official video, and so I'd like to thank you for joining in with me on today. Um, it's been a blessing and a major experience as being a self-published author, and to get all of this wonderful feedback. It's been amazing. So, for those of you who have purchased the book, thank you so much for supporting the vision. Thank you for replying back with your encouragement, with your comments, whether good or bad. And thank you for your questions. So, the questions is the reason why we're here, because a lot of you have questions about this book. A lot of you are shocked because you know this shade, but you didn't know the shade that was in the book. So that's what I'm here for, to shed light on that. So just wanted to go ahead and kick this first video off. This is the first of many. I am going to try to do a video every week. If you have any questions and you haven't submitted them, you're welcome to submit the questions to wisdomby30@gmail.com. I will reply back and let you know if I received your questions or not. It can be one question, it can be two, or it can be 20. Now, am I going to answer all 20 at once? No, it will be sporadically over the videos, just to keep the momentum going and to keep the answers going. So let's get into it. So just to recap, Wisdom by 30 is about my dating journey from the ages 17 to 30. Of course, I got married at 28, 29. And I learned a lot with every single individual that is inside of this journey. So, and I hope you learned something too. I hope it was a blessing to you in some way. And I hope you were able to kind of have a mirror of, okay, I need to stop doing that, or this makes sense, or an aha moment. Let's simply put it at that. But so let's get into the questions. The first question that I received, it says, do you regret any of your dating choices? I don't regret any of my dating choices, but I do feel like they could have been avoided in some way. But of course, lack of wisdom, lack of knowledge, and of course, other things can blind you from going the way that you were originally taught. And I kind of just did what I wanted to do. It was more of, well, let me just see. Let me try it out. So were some of them crazy and dangerous? Yes. Were there major lessons in all of them? Yes. Oh my goodness, because they shaped me to be the person that I am today. So I don't regret them. I don't. I can look back at them and laugh, but in those moments, I wasn't so happy, and I wasn't so able to be able to laugh about it, because it's every lesson has its bumps and bruises. And unfortunately, that's just life in general, whether it's dating, whether it's education, whether it's anything that you're trying to accomplish. So I can't say that I regret any of my dating choices, but I definitely, if I was allowed to, would kind of rewrite them just a little bit. And some people probably would have never ever happened. So that's just the honesty of it all. The second question I have is, would you recommend celibacy in dating? That's a question. I would recommend celibacy. First of all, let me give you background about me. I was introduced to celibacy in high school, not through my church that I grew up in, but through my friends. So I had friends who would have purity ceremonies. They would get rings and things of that sort. And before I left New Orleans, one of my close friends actually gave me her purity ring, and she told me to keep it with me. But I never understood the reasoning behind celibacy. It was just more of, I'm going to stay pure and I'm going to stay a virgin. but no biblical backing behind it or anything like that. I didn't have all of that. And, not to take away from the church that I grew up in, it's just that they didn't discuss it. Like sex was just out of the question, and it was something that it was just not discussed in church. But if somebody popped up pregnant, it was like, oops. But other than that, they kind of shunned away from it. But they were more of sticklers of telling you what you shouldn't be doing. And so they would just say, when it comes to sex, you shouldn't do it, and never give you a real reason why. But I think for anybody who researches celibacy for themselves, get an understanding and get wisdom for themselves, I definitely recommend it before getting married. And the reason why is because I had no idea that when you have intercourse with someone, you're taking on their spirits and you're taking on their personality. Had no idea. One of the guys that's in the book that I dated had a real depression issue, and I've never been a depressed person. Don't even know what it feels like to be in a downward spiral of depression, because I've always pushed through everything. That's just the strength that I have and that I was blessed with. But it would be days that I would just be a negative individual, and I'm like, where is this coming from? And until I started understanding soul ties, that's when it hit me like, this is why I feel like I want to cry. This is why I feel like I don't want to be bothered. This is why I feel this way. And so when you enter into the romantic portion of it, and you give yourself to somebody else and you receive them as receiving everything that comes with their territory, it's like you have no idea how many people are in the bed with you. And it's really scary. It really is. It's really scary because you just taking on all of these other spirits, because you're not the first and you're probably not going to be the last. And so on with you. On the other end, that person that you're being intimate with, they're receiving everything of you and everything that you're battling with and all the people that you slept with. So it's just a lot to deal with, especially when it comes to marriage. You can pray to wholeheartedly have somebody, but because virginity was broken before that marriage, it's so much stuff you got to work through. It is a process. And so some people will argue, well, I kind of want to see what it feels like before I get married. I kind of want to get into it, test the waters a little bit or whatever. But that's a lot of spiritual interruption that you don't need. And so I definitely recommend celibacy, because it is one, understanding and giving you time to understand who you are as an individual and what you can handle and what you can't handle. And then being completely honest with yourself. When sex is involved, it can really make things uncomfortable and can make things a lot uncomfortable. So celibacy, yes, 100% all the way. I recommend it. And I'm going to start my children early, because the age situation is getting earlier and earlier. Things that you think we should be talking to our children about at a certain age has kind of shifted. So I would definitely be explaining the whole process of celibacy to my children. I hope I was clear about that, because that's a touchy subject. But the third question is, and this is the final question for today, from which guy and dating experience did you learn the most? I would have to say, chapter 5. Chapter 5. Good old chapter 5. I would have to say chapter 5, and the reason why I say that, with chapter 6 being my second, the reason why I chose chapter 5 is because I was 19, and the person I was dating was 9, almost 10 years older than me. So it was like my first full on relationship. I mean, other things happened before him, but that relationship was really eye opening for me because of the age difference, for one. Two, he taught me a lot about me and about what a relationship should be and what a relationship should not be. Um, because I was naive, and I'm not gonna lie, everything was him, nonstop, 100%. I was vested completely. It was him. I would choose to be with him at any moment, at any time, and I was completely focused on him. But he taught me a lot because when I wanted to give my all completely to him, he stopped me and was like, "You're 19 and you have a lot more to live for. And you say you want me now, but that may change." And so I'm a person that loves hard. So it kind of hurt my feelings at first, but now that I understand it because I'm older, I actually appreciate him a lot more. And we're still friends to this day. Um, I, I I absolutely appreciate him a lot more because now I understand that I'm glad he let me go. I'm glad he did exactly what he did to me because I was consumed with him and not really knowing who Shay was. So I mean, it's other crazy stuff happened, of course, or whatever. And that relationship lasted almost 3 years, but it was one of the most emotionally draining relationships ever just because I was given so much. And he's more of a standoffish, hard brick to try to break through. So it was just, yeah, it was definitely a learning experience for me. I would have to say chapter 6 as well because that was my first marriage. And I grew up in a single parent household. So I never saw that Heathcliff and Claire Huxtable type thing in my house besides watching it on TV. So I kind of had an idea of what a wife should be and kind of had an idea of what a husband should be. But I also had enough sense to know that this is not it. This is not it at all. And so it also taught me something about the church as well and how they operate when it comes to marriage. Not to take anything away from the church, not to bash the church or anything like that, but the old school mentality of, well, you're already doing it, you're already living together, or you're already intimate, or you're already doing what married people do. It kind of it puts you in a place of conviction, which in a sense it should, because it should be an eye-opening experience for you, but you should never force someone into marriage when they have no idea what they're doing. It is an absolutely teachable moment. And so unfortunately, that was my journey. I went to the church for help and they were like, well, you already doing this, so you need to go ahead and get married. And we both were naive. We both just was like, okay, well, I guess this is the right thing to do. We're just going to go ahead and get married. And we did. And it turned out for the absolute worst, but it was also a blessing too, because we're apart because we definitely were not supposed to be together, not in that capacity anyway. But it definitely made me research marriage more, and it made me understand it more and the type of wife that I should be and how I should prepare myself. So that will be my learning lessons. I mean, all of the chapters were learning experiences, every single one of them. But I had to choose those two because those were just like looking in the mirror one day and like, I have no idea who this person is. And when I finally recognized myself, it was like, okay, the light bulb has went off. Now I have to adjust. Now I have to change things. So yeah. But I hope you enjoyed those 3 questions. I did. And it made me think and it made me give off a little bit more. But as I said before, if you want to send in your questions, you're welcome to send them into wisdomby30@gmail.com. And I will reply back saying that I got your questions. And I will definitely let you know if your questions is going to make the video for that week. So that way you can tune in. But either way, I want you to tune in. I need you to subscribe to the YouTube page so that way we can converse and get more intimate about everything regarding the book. So it's been a pleasure talking to you guys for this first premiere, the first video of many. And thank you again for supporting my vision of Wisdom by 30. It's definitely been a blessing to be able to share my journey, my dating journey with you and the wisdom that I received while I was going through everything that I was going through. So peace and blessings to you. I'll see you guys next week.